I'm Blake with SunflowerOutdoorSports.com TV, and thank you for watching. Tonight you're probably asking yourself, what's that bad mofo Blake doing on the sewing machine? And well, 5 years ago I'd probably be asking myself the same question. And it was exactly almost 5 years ago that my wife came up to me and she said, "Honey, sweetie, love of my life, could we get a sewing machine?" And of course my first reaction was, how much is this going to cost me? So I said, well, we should really think about it and do some research, figure out which one's the best machine and how much they cost and who's the best company to deal with. And then she started listing off all the stuff that I buy and how much it costs and how much I use it, and a lot of it just kind of sits around. And she happened to use this as an example, my Buckmaster survival knife. She asked me how much research I did and shopping around I did to get this. And at that point I pretty much had to kind of concede and put my tail between my legs, and I put a smile on my face and said, "Where are we going sewing machine shopping today, honey?" And later that day we came home with a sewing machine, and we spent a little under $500 for it. And pretty soon I learned to appreciate how cool it was. I got to see some of the cool stuff she made, and then I kind of started thinking about the uses I could use it for and some of the cool stuff I could do. Mainly making good gear better. Tonight I'm just actually making a little repair on my son's night-night. But most of the time when I'm using it, I'm trying to modify things, create things, and it usually all has to do with outdoors or hunting, camping, tactical gear. And I'm telling you, there's so much use for it. If you have tents, anything, anything that has to do with sports, you need to know how to sew, because you're always getting, tears in your clothes, your buttons are falling off, you're getting a rip, you get a rip in your tent or anything like that. It's a very, very handy skill to have. So I highly recommend picking up the hobby. If you don't have a sewing machine, find somebody who does and see if you can put a little time onto it, just to see if it is something that you can get into, and then maybe you can find a good used one or something. Honestly, now that I've been working with this one, I'm almost kind of thinking, man, I wish we would maybe spend a little more money and maybe got a little better one, a little more heavy duty one. But it does fine. Just an example, I don't really want to show any of the mods that I've done on my own equipment tonight, but I do want to show you a little something that I've done for my son's backpack. He has, my son, he loves flashlights and cameras and things like that, but he's always losing them. So what I did was I took the shoulder strap of his backpack and I kind of made some modified MOLLE webbing on the side of here, and in this way I could put in this Fenix PD20 flashlight. It's pretty cool. That's the cool thing about the Fenix lights. All the cases that come with them, they work with MOLLE gear, and they're awesome flashlights, but that's just a side note here. And then I put this lanyard on here, and then I sewed this like metal ring on here like that. So the flashlight's at his disposable, at his disposal on the backpack anytime he needs it. You know, it's right here in the strap. He can open it up, reach for it, use it, put it back, and he'll never lose it. Before I gave him this Fenix PD20, I'd always just give him little, you know, cheap $2-3 Home Depot flashlights because I knew he'd always lose them. But after I did this modification, I was pretty confident that I could, you know, give him a nice quality flashlight and it wouldn't get lost. And you know, it's been on here probably 7 or 8 months now, so it was worth doing. The Fenix PD20 is probably not one I would recommend. I would probably recommend like the LD10 for a single cell light, or the LD20 for a 2-battery light. I like the I don't like the CR123 lights that much, just because I'm not a big fan of the batteries. I know they're, you know, I know they've got a little more power. Maybe they last a little bit longer, but convenience is a big factor that plays with me, and it's just so much easier just getting the AA batteries. And if you use a lithium, I think, you know, it's pretty comparable. So make sure you go to sunfloweroutdoorsports.com. They got a whole new shipment of Fenix lights in. Specifically, I recommend the LD10 or the LD20. I've got a few myself. I'll show them in later videos. Right now, it just so happens my son got my hand-me-down PD20 for that. I'm going to just go ahead and take this off just to see if I can just kind of show you real quick on there. You know, just went to the sewing shop, got some nylon straps, and sewed them on there. And then put that little loop up there that the lanyard made out of 550 paracord is on. And then I went ahead, I want to show you another thing that I kind of did, which is cool, is I made like another little, I made some more MOLLE gear webbing, and then I sewed the bottom of this on there and kind of made a little pouch out of it. And then I have this whistle that I attached to 550 paracord to the metal loop on the other side. And I think it's just important, you know, if you have young children, you know, I've got whistles on their jackets, on this backpack, you know, all their gear they have, I put whistles on there just so, you know, God forbid anything ever happens, we ever get separated or anything like that, you know, they're trained to know to blow this thing as loud as they can until we find them. And so I just, you know, just a little PSA here, you know, make sure your kids have lots of whistles. You know, after a few days, the novelty of the whistle wears off, and they pretty much, you know, forget they have it, and you know, they're not running around the house blowing it. So it's, you know, it's something to think about. A little side note on the sewing machine: make sure, where's it at? I don't have it here in front of me. A thread I really like to use when doing tactical gear is I use upholstery thread. That stuff is really, really strong. I mean, it's really hard to break, and it's good for hard use gear. So that's what I always use. Just go to your local sewing shop and, you know, ask if they have upholstery thread. I know the ladies there think I'm really weird. I'm always buying the weirdest stuff, you know, the nylon straps, the parachute buckles, and the upholstery thread. And they're like, you know, I know they're just wondering, you know, what's that dude doing, man? He's weird, because I'm never buying fabric, really. So, again, thank you so much for watching the videos. Make sure you go to sunfloweroutdoorsports.com and pick up your Fenix flashlights today. I think they've got some of the most competitive prices on the market, and fast and speedy shipping. Thanks a lot and have a good night.